Hey everybody, I'm Scott Allen Miller. Today on Sam IT, I'm going to talk about something I've run into an awful lot in online professional communities over the years, and that is what I call the derailment attack. It took me a lot of years and a lot of interaction online to recognize this specific type of online attack, but it's one that's very important, very effective, and by understanding it and identifying it, we have an opportunity to at least begin to understand how it's being used, and we can help explain to moderators and those that are in charge of communities and community members how to identify it, recognize it, and shut it down. How this attack works is simple. You see a conversation happening, and in theory you could do this in person, but it's not nearly as effective. It's really online that you get this powerful attack method through this. You see a conversation that you don't like, information that you don't want to come out, or a conversation you simply don't want people to have. For whatever reason, you want to stop a valid conversation from happening. You simply jump in and call it a derailment. Say, oh, you need to stay on topic. Oh, this has gotten derailed. Oh, this isn't what people were asking. Whatever, you simply insinuate or outright say that you've gone off topic. What happens almost 100% of the time is that either people will simply stop talking, or they will adjust and try to talk about what you want to talk about, or more likely, you will have actually caused the very derailment you are accusing other people of having, which is very rarely the case. If they were actually off topic, someone probably would have noticed and steered it back. By mentioning the derailment, you force a situation where the conversation effectively must derail to discuss the derailment itself. This almost guarantees that a conversation will leave whatever topic was at hand and go into one talking about derailments, discussing how conversations migrate organically over time, or discussing moderation or whatever. But it essentially guarantees that by throwing out the accusation, which is essentially always false, and that the accusation is the very thing that's happening, it makes it seem difficult for the people to respond and point out that you are the one who just derailed the conversation by mentioning a derailment. It's just a really effective way of basically putting blame on someone in a way that will always cease the or shut down the conversation that you are trying to stop. It's legitimately an attack. It's a form of trolling that is very commonly done and extremely effective. And you'll find moderators do this a lot too, maybe without realizing that by doing this, they have to be really, really sure what is and isn't correctly on topic. And it's important as a broader scope to this to understand that conversations do not stay really, really close to an initial question. If someone has an online question, or even in person, and you ask, how do I do X or Y, that is going to result in a lot of clarification questions. It's going to ask a lot of questions about goals. You can never simply say that this is the question and this is what the answer should be and everything else is off topic. It's not how it works. As you know from human conversations, there's a lot of information gathering, there's a lot of ancillary things that may or may not have been considered that need to be brought up, there's a lot of ongoing clarification of the ancillary things, a lot of determination of goals. Without those things, we can't legitimately answer questions in a professional or business context. So they're required, and they are absolutely part of the original topic. And even after a while, a lot of topics, possibly once they've been answered or they've matured in some way, will then drift off into very tangential things, but they generally are still organically growing from the original question or hypothesis or discussion point, which makes them still on topic, even if very far along a conversation they seem like they are no longer directly answering what was originally asked. This is because conversations drift over time, but if you follow the threads, normally you will find that they organically change from time to time. It is really rare for conversations to actually jump topic and derail, except for the unique case of mentioning derailment, which exists for the purpose of causing organic conversations to stop. Thanks for joining me. Remember to like and subscribe. If you want to sponsor us here, you can do so through Patreon at the link below. Remember, just a little bit on Patreon goes a really long way to help make these videos and educational resources for the IT industry. Thanks for joining me. This episode of Sam IT has been sponsored by our friends at Talkadillo, the affordable, simple, fully managed, predictably priced VoIP PBX platform. Learn more at talkadillo.com and help to support Sam IT.